through a golden landscape. Autumn has taken hold in the Scottish Highlands, and the trees are bronzed and yellowed, and the hills are just covered in, at the moment anyway, shifting mists. It is very much the season of mellow fruitfulness. I'm heading for one of my favourite places, Glen Coe. But for a change, I'm not going to Glen Coe to climb hills or mountains. I'm going to Glen Coe to do something different. I've come to the Camping and Caravanning Club campsite in Glen Coe, and as I mentioned, I've not come here to climb hills as I would normally do, but to ride my bike. Over the past, I don't know, 40 odd, almost 50 years, I've had a succession of camper vans, and I've always used them kind of as a means to an end. To provide a base, to provide overnight accommodation, somewhere comfortable when I've been hill walking, climbing, mountain biking, or paddling my pack raft. And it's easy enough to put a bike on the back of a camper van, and it's certainly easy to put a pack raft inside. So it really is the ideal base, the ideal transport for anybody interested in outdoor activities. The van really offers an ideal base. It's somewhere where you can, come down from the hills at night, or after a long mountain bike ride or something, and come in and cook yourself a meal, have a wash, and have a comfortable night. And it's somewhere really nice to chill out during these long, kind of dark, late autumn and winter evenings. I've used tents over the years when I've been backpacking, and I love camping, I love tents, but the long winter evenings can be hard graft in a tent, whereas in a camper van you can even watch telly if you have a telly in it, or a DVD player, or whatever. It's just that bit more comfortable. And I'm not, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So as I get older, I begin to appreciate those levels of comfort. And talking about comfort, I think it's just starting to rain now. It's been forecast. That's it started. So why don't you follow me into the camper, and I'll tell you why I'm not climbing the hills of Glen Coe. Come on in. Over a long period of time, I've thoroughly enjoyed the hills and mountains of Glen Coe. I used to come here as a teenager, spend weekend after weekend here, and they became my my hills of home in many ways before I went to live in the shadow of the Cairngorms. And I have very, very fond memories of climbing the hills and the Munros, and rock climbing and winter climbing on the likes of the Bochalet Moor here in Glen Coe. So it's a great place. So I've come here. I'm not going to climb the hills. Why am I not going to climb the hills is the question. And the answer is very simple. I can't. Some time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I started to develop a pain under the ball of my foot, just kind of under my big toe, that it wasn't a huge problem at the time. It usually came at the end of a long day, and usually if I stopped and rested for a few moments, the pain would go away, and that would be fine. But over the years it became more of a problem, and I found myself having to stop more frequently and rest, and the pain began to spread over the whole of my foot. So it made hill walking actually quite difficult. But I could still do it. I could still get out and stop fairly frequently till the pain went away, my foot, and carry on again. And I tried all sorts of things. I spoke to I spoke to all sorts of people, my GP obviously, podiatrists. I bought all kinds of insoles, orthotic insoles to try and alleviate this problem. I even went through a period where I had a series of cortisone injections into a big toe, and eventually it was diagnosed as a thing called hallux rigidus, which is simply a stiffening of the big toe caused by arthritis. Basically what was happening was that the cartilage was wearing thinner and thinner, just due to a lot of use, and the bone had started to rub against bone and was causing pain, and it reached a climax probably 2 or 3 months ago, when I just couldn't walk any distance at all, and even during the night when I was sleeping, the pain became almost intolerable. So it was time to do something. So I went to see a consultant orthopedic surgeon. He took some x-rays, looked at some old x-rays I had done. You could see quite clearly the degenerative process at work, and how this joint was getting ground down until it's reached a stage where I really have to do something. And his advice to me was a surgical operation to fuse the big toe joint, and that's, you know, putting in a metal plate, bringing the two bits of bone together and fusing it solid. It will mean that my big toe will lose all mobility. I won't be able to bend the big toe, but that's not a huge problem. I don't, you know, I'm too old to go running now, so my surgeon assures me I should be able to walk and do all the things I've been able to, even climb mountains and even rock climb. So I'm fairly happy about that. So I have a surgical operation scheduled for the beginning of December. So I really look forward to get that done. So that's the reason I've not been climbing hills over the past wee while. And I tell you, I really, really miss it. I guess the bike has really been my salvation. When I realised that I wasn't going to be able to climb the hills as I used to be able to climb them, I started cycling quite a lot, and went off with my old pal Hamish Telfer and cycled John O'Groats to Land's End. That was a great adventure. And the next year we cycled from the Channel down to the Mediterranean, La Manche to Montpellier. And the third year we cycled from Mizzenhead to Mallinhead up the wild Atlantic coast of Ireland. That was brilliant. And we followed that by a couple of weeks bike packing in the Picos de Europa in northern Spain. I guess I probably cycle most days. I do a bit of cycle packing. Some shorter ones, some longer ones, either on my gravel bike that I'm on today, or my e-mountain bike, and it really has kept me active and kept me going. But I'll tell you, I still miss the hills. I miss them badly. I certainly miss the hills. I miss the high camps and lonely quarries. I miss the far-flung views. I miss the breeze on an upturned face. All these things that make the hills so good. The excitement of steep ground, the crisp winter mornings on a tight snow-covered ridge. But you never know. Once I get this operation, get my toe fused, I might well get back to climbing the hills again. I shouldn't really grumble. I've had a wonderful life climbing hills and mountains, exploring wild places all around the world. It's been absolutely fantastic. But I would like to squeeze just a few more years out of it before I go off on that big expedition. See you later.